Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Trinadapi Sunichena Taradi Vasa Hishnuna. Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Vakivalam. Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata. Welcome to the, how shall we say, embassy of the spiritual world. Because Prabhupada envisions his temples to be a replica of Vaikuntha. What is Vaikuntha? The place where there is no anxiety. There should be no anxiety. Why? God is here in front of us. And we just spent a half hour loudly chanting God's holy names. And you are with similar like-minded people, just like you. You all come here because you want to improve your spiritual life. That's why you come. So, my good friend Balaram, he gave me the instruction. So tonight, we're going to commemorate, because it's during this period that ISKCON was established, back in 1966. Srila Prabhupada left India in 1965, around Janmashtami time. And then he arrived first in Boston Harbor in September of 1965. And then after one day or so, then he landed in New York. So from September 1965 until about June, July of 66, Prabhupada was just trying to start his movement. He was depending on Krishna where to stay, and he was trying to understand how to preach Krishna consciousness in the West. So it was in July of 1966 that ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, was established. So I'm going to read a little bit from this Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, the authorized biography of Srila Prabhupada. Now, personally, tomorrow is a very special anniversary for me personally, because in 1973, on July 15th, I said goodbye to my family, my friends, and especially my enemies. And I decided to move into the temple, which was at that time in Brooklyn, New York. And that was a decision I would have made 1,000 times over. Best decision in my life was to come and join Prabhupada's Krishna consciousness movement. It has made all the difference in my life. So tomorrow is that anniversary. I remember I had one musical acquaintance, so he offered to drive me from my home in Long Island to Brooklyn. And the whole trip, what was he trying to do? Convince me not to do it. That's the kind of friends I had. The whole trip. But I was determined. No. Talk to the hand. No. And I remember it was just before the Sunday feast. It was on a Sunday. It was just before the Sunday feast. And I had made my connections with my good friend Atindriya Dasa. He would, whenever I would visit the temple, he would take me under his wing and he would preach to me and engage me in sweeping and cleaning. And since then, I've been all over the world with Krishna. Never dreamed of the places I have gone, all because of surrendering to Krishna and Prabhupada's movement. Such a fantastic journey. And it's still going on. All right. If you're all ready, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're in this particular chapter entitled Breaking Ground. We shall call our society ISKCON. Prabhupada laughed playfully when he first coined the acronym. He had initiated the legal work of incorporation that spring while still living on the Bowery. Now, I've been on the Bowery. If there's any place that's hell, it's the Bowery in New York. So he was at that time living on the... But even before its legal beginning, Prabhupada had been talking about, quote unquote, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And so it had appeared in letters to India and in a publication known as the Village Voice. That was a local underground newspaper. It was the hipster publication. A friend had suggested a title that would sound more familiar to Westerners: International Society for God Consciousness. But Prabhupada had insisted, Krishna consciousness. God was a vague term, whereas Krishna was exact and scientific. God consciousness was spiritually weaker, less personal. And if Westerners didn't know that Krishna was God, then the International Society for Krishna Consciousness would tell them by spreading his glories in every town and village. So I take that as a direct instruction that one of our preaching strategies is to let everyone know Krishna is God. Krishna consciousness was Prabhupada's own rendering of a phrase from Srila Rupa Goswami's book Padyavali, written in the 16th century. Please repeat it. Let's see how you guys are in Sanskrit. Please repeat. Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavita. Now let's do the whole thing. Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavita. Very good. This is the advanced class. To be absorbed in the mellow taste of executing devotional service to Krishna. I'll repeat that. So the meaning of that Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavita, to be absorbed in the mellow taste of executing devotional service to Krishna. But to register ISKCON legally as a non-profit tax-exempt religion required money and a lawyer. All right, so I'm not going to go into so much there. So at this time, Prabhupada has his first temple, 26 2nd Avenue. Who has visited that? Good. Not that many. Oh, put that on your bucket list. That at some point you will go visit 26 2nd, where it all began. So I don't want to, because I have something else in mind. So let's see where it is. Here it is. So when Prabhupada set up the Articles of Incorporation for his movement, he established 7 principles. So people sometimes wonder, what is ISKCON? What are you all about? So these 7 purposes, actually 7 purposes of ISKCON, that's what we will hear today. If you're ready to proceed, and I still have your attention, everybody say, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Good. So number 1, to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life, in order to check the imbalance of values in life, and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. So just this first point, this, for me, that's my society, that's my religion. How could you find any fault? To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge, the only thing lacking in this world, spiritual knowledge. And educate all peoples. So as you look around, we have Indians, we have Americans, we have Latinos, we have everybody is included, right? So it's for everybody. And he used this word, techniques of spiritual life. So in certain circumstances, if you are speaking to somebody, you don't have to immediately tell them, oh, you must become harekrishna. No, you can explain to them by reading Prabhupada's books. You will learn techniques. See, it's a very nice way of preaching. We will teach you techniques so that you can be a better Christian, Muslim, Jew, Hindu. And even I've said at times, I would tell somebody, oh, you don't want to be God conscious? No. Then I would say, okay, read this 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and you'll be first class demon. Krishna tells you right there how to do it. Now, in order to check the imbalance, because this is Kali Yuga, so day by day, like a avalanche, Kali Yuga, the effects of Kali Yuga becomes more and more prominent in society. And society becomes more and more materialistic, more deeper in the modes of nature. So to check that imbalance, that's one of the purposes of this movement. To achieve real unity and peace. Ah, such nice. I sign up for that. Real unity and peace. Very good. Number 2. No, here he goes. To propagate a consciousness of Krishna as revealed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's another purpose of this movement. We are meant, I was explaining last night to one young college Indian girl. I've known her for many years. And she was asking me so many questions. And so I mentioned to her that all religions, they say, we're the only way. And I explained to her that, yeah, if you go to Toyota, what are they going to say? This car's for you. You go to Hyundai, what are they going to say? Don't buy Toyota, buy Hyundai. Every religion, us included, says we're the only way. So, that being the case, right, then you have to pick which religion has the best to offer. I told her, I did that. I surmised, and I saw that in this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we have so much information available. So, and so I also told her, I said, so if you're asking me, right, what you should do, I said, then you should know I'm a Krishna salesman. And so if you ask me, obviously I'm going to tell you Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And this is the second item, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as it is revealed in Gita and Bhagavatam. That's my job. All right, number 3. To bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, and thus to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead. And again he puts, somebody's got it. Everybody should have said that. It's going to come up some more, so be ready. So, this we learned, this is the first understanding of spiritual life, that I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am not this car. No, I am spirit soul. And then later in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna goes further. Spirit soul, and you're part and parcel of me. So for me, I love this concept that I'm part and parcel of God. And the Upanishads and Puranas give the example, which I use in every class. The sun and the sunshine. Same in quality. There's no difference. The difference is the sun ray is poquito pequeño, and the sun is mahagrande, right? Is that the right term? The mas grande, right? Yes. When I go to SanDiego every year, I try to, say something in Spanish, and they always correct me. No, Prabhu, it's not like that. You got to say it the correct way. So I love this, that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have all the qualities of Krishna, but to a minute degree and minute potency. But that's okay. It's enough to make us completely happy. But I just love this concept that I belong to God. People will tell you belong to the country, you belong to this. No. I belong to Krishna. I belong to God. Number 4, to teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, the congregational chanting of the holy name of God, as revealed in the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So 2 points here. The Sankirtan movement. It's actually 2 words. Sankirtan. Sam means complete, full. And kirtan, glorification, singing, describing. So when we do the loud chanting, and when we go out into the street or the parks, and we do the loud chanting, that's one of the things that we're supposed to do, as is designed by our founder Acharya. We're doing these things because this is what he wants us to do, since we are full-time members of this movement. And not just Sankirtan, Sankirtan as taught by Lord Chaitanya. So we learn about Lord Chaitanya in Prabhupada's teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. By reading those 2 books, or either of them, then you will understand his understanding or methodology of Sankirtan, and we try to follow that. And we do. We chant the Maha Mantra. Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai. Number 5. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, number 5. To erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna. So Prabhupada established his Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, and he established and is still establishing his grand city. Actually, it's supposed to be a city, Mayapur. Prabhupada, I think there's one place where he said, at some point we should have our own airport. Yeah, you go in there, you pull in, and you're right there in Sridham, Mayapur. Who knows? We might see it in this lifetime. Who knows? And also, when we have these temples, as we have here in SanDiego, this is also a holy place dedicated to Krishna. You do so many nice festivals here. You did your flower festival. Did you all, was it a transcendental experience? Yeah. It was very, very nice, right? And coming up, you're going to have Janmashtami, right? The big party. So these temples are to make a place where we can do transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna. Do you ever do dramas here in the temple? Yes. Oh, see, that's another one. Dramas are very, very powerful. All right, number 6. To bring the members closer together for the purpose of teaching a simpler and more natural way of life. And number 7, with a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings. So this last item, yes, Prabhupada impressed this upon us, because Prabhupada himself in Radha Kund, those of you who know, Radha Kund is a most sacred place. So when 1935, 36, Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta, was there doing a kind of parikrama. And at Radha Kund, Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta's disciple, was there. And Bhakti Siddhanta was very, very disturbed. And he confided in our Prabhupada. He said, I have spent so many lakhs of money establishing a big temple in Calcutta. I want to take all the marble from that temple, sell it, and print books. He said, ever since I established that temple, everybody's been fighting. This is my room. No, this is my room. So Bhaktisiddhanta became very disappointed. So he said, I wish to take all that marble, sell it, and then print and distribute books. And then Bhaktisiddhanta turned to Prabhupada and said, if you ever get money, print books. So Prabhupada took that instruction so very personal and deeply. He never forgot that instruction, because soon afterwards Bhaktisiddhanta departed. But that instruction Prabhupada kept for more than 30 years, because after establishing a few temples, then Prabhupada insisted, publish my books. And he especially wanted his Bhagavad Gita to be published. And so Madhusudan's here. He can tell you, because he was back at those days, how Prabhupada was so keen on getting his books printed and distributed. And he said, I am writing these books, but you are lagging behind in the publication. And then, as the books became published, Gita and various cantos of the Bhagavatam, and then in those in Los Angeles, 1975, they did a big marathon to publish the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So sometime in 1973-74, the emphasis switched from 66 to about 70 or 71. The emphasis was going out doing kirtan on the street. Devotees told me they would go out for 10, 12 hours chanting. They would get a bag of prasadam in the morning, and that would be their lunch, and they would spend the whole day chanting on the streets. But around 1972, Prabhupada changed the emphasis, and he said, we must go out and distribute my books, these books that I am writing. So I joined 73, and it was at that time that it was really starting to become emphasized. Everyone should go out and distribute books. And there were times, I remember in Brooklyn Temple, 74, the whole temple went out, even the temple president. One devotee stayed back and did all the pujari work, but after breakfast, the temple emptied out and we were on the subways of New York. It was around Thanksgiving time. And it was like amazing. People were saying, you guys are everywhere. No matter where they went on the subway station, they were bumping into Harekrishna devotees. And I did my biggest day of Sankirtan at that time. I think it was Christmas Eve. I came back around 10 o'clock at night, and I had distributed and collected the most of anyone that day. So Krishna was very kind, because there was a competition who could distribute the most. So these are the 7 principles of ISKCON. And I'm going to do a little chanting, and let's see what Krishna inspires me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, I just got a text message from Krishna. He said, ask the audience if they have any questions. That's what the message. So it must be somebody. Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes, use the, yes.
So, earlier in the talk you mentioned that, I mean, in the age of Kali Yuga, right, the world is becoming more materialistic and deteriorating. And the mission of ISKCON is to basically spread more consciousness. So, I mean, how are the two compatible? I mean,
okay, this is an excellent question. Give him a hand. This is a good question. Krishna's text messages are never wrong. And there are no charges. No rate charge. So, here's how it works. Some people misunderstand. They think, oh, you guys are against materialism. Yes, we're against materialism, but we're not against Krishna's material energy. When we say materialism and why we object, it's a kind of consciousness. I'm this body, and I have to do everything for the pleasure of this body, and I have to go out there and exploit the material world, and whoever dies with the most toys wins. Materialism. Right? So that consciousness, no. And remember, it said imbalance. So when you come to Krishna consciousness, you learn to become a balanced person. You don't have to be a monk or a monkette to be Krishna conscious. I assume you're either in college or you have a job.
I'm in college.
Okay. What are you studying to be?
I don't know, engineer.
I knew it! It had written all over your face. You were either going to say engineer or doctor. So, you can be an engineer and still be part of this international society for Krishna consciousness. Look, I have a camera, I have a computer, I have a mixer, I have a recorder, I have a cell phone, but no tattoos. Everybody nowadays has a cell phone, and even grandma's got a tattoo. This is my tattoo. It washes off and doesn't affect the liver. So we're not against the material energy or material things. The teaching of this movement is, can anything be utilized to spread knowledge of Krishna? Utility is, we have a thing. Utility is the principle. So, I like to play music. I play guitar. But I sing songs about Krishna rather than Peggy Sue. You understand? So, everything is, what is the consciousness behind it? One of my favorite stories, I'm sure I've told it, but I'll tell you. Many years ago, when I lived in Los Angeles, my wife had one Indian acquaintance, and he was into Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba. So he once asked me, Maharaj, is money evil? So it was like a trick question. I said, it's neither good nor evil. If you use money for spreading Krishna consciousness, all good. But if you use money just for your own personal sense aggrandizement, then that's going to take you down. It's not going to elevate you. So balance means you eat, you sleep. I assume you're going to at some point get married, right? And you're going to have 6 kids. Anyway, everything can be regulated and utilized in Krishna consciousness. And to learn that art, we require a spiritual master. So, Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. And throughout his books, he's guiding us exactly how to do that. How to use everything to live, as you can see, I don't starve, right? You can see I'm well fed. So, nothing is denied. Nothing is denied. Only it has to be regulated and used to serve Krishna. So keep that in mind. Yes, become the best engineer, but with some of your profits, give to Krishna. Give to devotees who are full-time. You understand? Use your money. You can live nicely, but at the same time, use as much as you can to spread Krishna consciousness. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay? Yes. Good. Who else has a question? Nobody else?
Question. Ru.
You have a question?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Thank you for a very nice class, by the way.
Can you speak a little louder?
I said thank you for the very nice class. So, you were speaking about how all the different religions of the world, they say that, oh, we're the only way. Each one says that. And nowadays in the West, or maybe all over the world, a lot of young people have this resentment towards religion or organized religion.
Oh, yes. Organized religion.
So how would you compare Gaudiya Vaishnavism, our tradition, to that? Is it that, or how do we?
To such a person who has already a disinclination, right? Then you just, like it was mentioned here in the beginning, right? To educate peoples in the techniques of spiritual life. So this movement is not only a religion. This movement is social. It encompasses every aspect of the whole person. So you can, everything's centered around the books. So you want to give someone a book. And with that you say, this book will teach you techniques in spiritual life. Spiritual life is not Muslim, Christian, Hindu, it's spiritual life. So, again, I'm a Krishna salesman. Of course, I'm going to try to steer you to Krishna, but at the same time, you can learn from our books techniques, like I said that earlier, how to become a better person. This person doesn't want to be part of an organized religion, fine. You can read our books and become a better spiritual person. Always keep it positive. What do you think? Make sense? What else? Over here. Wish we had one of those swinging microphones.
Yes, over here in the West, we are very much into bookish knowledge. What you said about the temple, when he said, I want to pull this temple down and to use the money for books, how both compare? Because I think, as a matter of fact, temples help a lot into bhakti, no? Temples are basically for bhakti.
Yes.
So how that balance between books and temples?
If you're going to have books, people are going to want to see, okay, what's it all about? They come to the temple and they see, oh, this is what it's all about. And by coming to the temple and reading the books, they can make their own home or apartment a temple. You see how it works? Yes. Now keep in mind that example of Bhakti Siddhanta. He didn't destroy the temple, but he was trying to emphasize a point. I don't know, were you here at the beginning?
Not quite, but
Okay.
I have it in New York, by the way. I have it there, on the temple there.
You are blessed.
Yes.
So, you need books and you need temples. When Prabhupada left this world in 1977, there were 108 temples. Now we have, someone once said, more than 600 worldwide. So the stock has gone up. I've always said, right? Every other corner, what do you see? Starbucks. Why can't I see Govinda's? There should be a Govinda's restaurant that serves nice prasada. Yes. It can happen. It can definitely happen. If someone gets inspired from Krishna and make it happen. That's one of my dreams. As much as there are Starbucks or 7-Elevens, I want to see Govinda's restaurant so that I can stop in. Okay, give me one pakoda, one samosa, throw in some chutney, like that. Okay? Yeah, she has a question.
It's not the question, Prabhuji, it's a compliment. Prabhupada officially registered the ISKCON on July 13, 1966, and you became the part of the ISKCON family on July 15. So congratulations and celebration.
Yeah, but some years later.
Yeah, year doesn't matter, the date, the month is the matter.
I kick myself that I didn't join this movement earlier.
So congratulations.
I wish I had known about, 66, at that time I was 16. Oh, If I had known about Krishna at the age of 16, I'd probably be a sannyasi. I would have saved myself so much heartache, but wasn't mine. But at least at the age of 23, Krishna saved me. Wow, 23. Now I'm 69. That's a long time, but it's good. Okay, more questions. Oh, right here. It just takes the first person to break the ice.
Thank you. I would like to know, for instance, if a Catholic person decides to be a Krishna's devotee, does that person needs to forget everything about her traditions? Like, for instance, believing in Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary, the saints.
You can keep both going on side by side. No, you keep going. Yes, we see Jesus as our guru. Whatever Jesus taught, right? Whatever Jesus taught, that is truth. So, side by side, and let's see what happens.
So Krishna and Jesus Christ are friends?
Why not? Why not? Friends, Jesus is, guru means representative. So Jesus was speaking to a particular people at a particular time, and he preached according to the level of their consciousness. And even he said, because I was raised Catholic, Our Lady of Loretto School in Hempstead, Long Island, for 8 years by the lovely nuns. No, they were good. Only one time I got hit, but I deserved it because I was being a rascal. And I think was in the 7th or 8th grade. I was out of control. Anyway, so Jesus is what we call guru, which means representative. So, in Catholicism, I was taught Jesus is the Son of God. So who is that God?
Krishna.
Okay? You like that?
Yes.
Keep coming. And make sure you take lots of prasad. That's the key. That's how I got to be this advanced. It's all because of prasadam. More questions. We got time for one more? One last question. Okay. Wait for the microphone, sir.
So what is your belief on, outside of bhakti, practicing other forms of yoga at the same time?
Okay. So are you talking about hatha yoga or whatever?
Yeah, like different forms of meditation
Okay.
as well.
So you can do that provided it does not distract you or make you lose faith in the teachings of Krishna. So if this is the general rule of thumb, you can accept anything if it is going to nourish and support your spiritual life, your Krishna consciousness. If you find you made a decision and you realize, oh, I'm not now being with the devotees, I'm not chanting, then you know this decision was not a right decision. Just like in finances, people make investments. But if you realize, oh, this stock is killing me, then you make an adjustment. So in your life, make your decisions, but see, is this going to help me in my chanting? Is it going to allow me to come to the temple and be with the devotees and take prasad? Okay? So if it helps you and doesn't distract you, you're good to go. All right. I think that's it. I will see you next month. And of course, if you want to give any donation to help my cause, you can, any donation, $1 million, whatever you can afford. And then You can take a CD. You can take a CD even if you don't give a donation. My CDs are different classes I've given over the years. Please take a CD, and whatever you can give, I'll be greatly appreciated. Let's all chant one last time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay.
Hare Krishna.